up, my fellow MMA and UFC fans? In today's video on the CNOL MMA YouTube channel, I will be giving out my best bets for UFC 322 this Saturday night. And before we get into the best bets, I'd like to have a little disclaimer. For one, I do dabble in sports betting and gambling in general. However, I do not do it every day. I do not do it every weekend even. And I sure don't do it when I don't have the funds to do it. And I for sure don't bet or gamble an amount of money that I cannot afford to lose. And I suggest, if you don't think you can have some self-control, I suggest you don't be a degenerate gambler. And I suggest you don't gamble at all. However, if you think you have self-control and you place bets that you can afford to lose and you have fun with it and you don't see yourself having an issue with it, by all means, please take a look at this video and tell me what you think about these bets. I just don't want to encourage any degeneracy whatsoever. Yeah, but that's pretty much the basis of that. Don't be stupid. Just don't be an idiot. If you can't handle it, don't do it, man. It's that simple. And be smart. But guys, let's get right into my best bets for UFC 322. Let's get started. My first best bet, dude, is JDM Moneyline. And I had my predictions video drop yesterday, so I'm not going to get too much into the fight within itself. However, I just think those odds are way too far apart. And I forgot to say, I use what I use to place wagers is an app called Fliff. Fliff, sponsor me. I would love that. Even though nobody watches my videos, it'd still be sick though. It'd be epic. But those are the odds I'm getting here. And I looked at other books, and they're about the same. So a lot of my betting and a lot of the picks I take and what I put money on, my main basis for a lot of it is where I think lines are either completely screwed up or where there's value on a pick. And even though I'm pretty confident JDM will win this fight, I think this is insane value as well. I understand him being an underdog totally. I would make him an underdog, but man, plus 220 is wild. I would say around maybe the plus 150 to plus 170 range for Jack Della Maddalena. And I think a lot of that is based off the fact that Islam has been just dominant in his UFC career in general. And JDM, his resume is not the best besides that title win he just had. But I think in general, JDM's going to win this fight. And at plus 220 underdog odds, I think you have. If you enjoy sports betting, man, if you enjoy gambling, I think this is such a juicy freaking line to take advantage of. If you think he's gonna win and he's a plus 220 underdog, dude, I think that's crazy value. Like I said, it should be somewhere in the plus 150 to plus 170 range, in my opinion. I think this is an insane value on a guy that's fighting in his true weight class against a guy who's moving up, a guy who has shown that he has the ability to negate his opponent's best strengths. I think plus 220 is way, way out of this world crazy for JDM in this fight. And I've seen it even more juicy on the other books, like more in the plus 240 to plus 250 range. So I'm for sure going to be betting this one. And I think even if you don't think JDM is necessarily going to win and you're not that confident in it, if you're a guy like me who enjoys the value and likes to look at the odds and see where things are moving, see how the odds maker and books have these fights correlated at, I think this is insane value. And I'm also just super confident in JDM in general. So this is my freaking, probably my favorite bet of the weekend. I know it's simple, but man, I think it's incredible freaking odds for JDM. I mean, the defending champion. Let's move on to Zhang Weili is an underdog in this fight. Now, I understand the underdog. For the most part, I do, moving up a weight class and whatnot. But like I was talking about yesterday, I think Zhang Weili is easily going to win this fight. And I think, honestly, anytime you get a caliber of this fighter going up against a girl in Shevchenko, where it is pick'em, it's very close odds, but Valentina's the favorite. And then you just look at the dynamic of the fight and how Zhang Wei Li matches up with Valentina Shevchenko. At plus 105, really Zhang Wei Li against any 125 or 115 pound woman. Zhang Wei Li at plus 105, you have to if you're wanting to play some bets, that is a value pick all day. And again, like with the JDM pick, I think she's gonna win. And while I don't necessarily think she could be favored, unlike the JDM Islam fight, I think there's a strong argument to have her favored. Just with her recent domination at the 115-pound weight division, and Valentina looking that she is slowing down the age gap. I think Zhang Wei Li at plus money, I think that is one of the best bets of the weekend by far. Moving on to Beneil Dariush. Moneyline again, another dog. I love betting on underdogs. That's my favorite, most exciting way to bet on UFC. Plus 155 Beneil Dariush. Now, you can argue this is another thing. I think this is discrepancy as well. I think this is way closer to a pick'em. You could even have Beneil as the favorite. But you're getting a guy with grappling chops that is, skill-wise, is better than Benoit. Where Benoit gets the advantage is his physicality and his strength and ability to pressure. But you're getting a guy in Beneil, a veteran. He is older, but this is a guy who beat Mateusz Gamrot, right? This is a guy with wicked submission game. I trust his cardio is way more trusted than Benoit Saint Denis. We've seen him fade. We've seen him fold to a guy like Renato Moicano that Beneil Dariush just beat. And Benoit's most recent win since he's lost to Moicano is Kyle Prepolek and Mauricio Huffy, who still possibly could be a decent prospect. He's really good on the feet, but just was so weak in the grappling department. It was way too easy for Benoit. And there is no way that Benoit will be able to implement that against Beneil Dariush, a guy who took out Mateusz Gamrot, probably the second best 155-pound wrestler currently behind Arman Tsarukyan. Okay? And with Beneil's finishing ability on the ground, Benoit's tendency to fade in a fight, Beneil most likely having the advantage on the feet, the speed advantage, not the power advantage, the technical advantage, getting him at plus 155, I think, is crazy value, man. Even if you lean Benoit, breaking him early in the fight and having a dominant performance, if you just listen to everything I just said and you don't think plus 155 on Beneil Dariush, because you can't necessarily disagree with any point I just made, because Benoit is going to have to show he has leveled up his game to disprove anything I just said. This is crazy, insane value. Beneil Dariush moneyline, plus 155. To preface these videos, anything I say in this video, I will be betting myself. So if I don't plan on betting a weekend, I'm not going to make a betting preview, because people who make betting previews and don't bet what they're telling other people they like is absolute absurdity to me. So just so you know, I am genuine. I will be placing my hard-earned money on what I'm telling you. What I'm not telling you to put your hard-earned money on it at all. I'm just telling you what I'm putting my hard-earned money on. Let's move on. Malcolm Wellmaker is a minus 165 favorite. Like you're probably thinking, see, no, dude, it's a favorite. Go watch Cody Haddon versus Dan Argueta, and you tell me Malcolm Wellmaker will not end that fight in the first 2 minutes of the first round. With everything we've seen from Malcolm, the speed, the power, the power especially, the guy's special on the feet. He has special power in those hands at 135. I looked at the odds because I hadn't looked at them all week. I thought Malcolm Wellmaker was going to be like a minus 500 favorite. You're getting him at minus 165. Like I said, I'm an underdog guy. That's freaking wild value for a guy in Wellmaker who should run through Cody Haddon. Go watch the film. Go tell me Malcolm Wellmaker doesn't run through him. This is one of my favorite bets, even though I don't like betting. This isn't a heavy favorite, but anything minus 200, I'm not betting on you usually, because my unit size is nowhere near where any of that makes sense, strategy-wise, necessarily. But Malcolm Wellmaker at minus 165, and a guy against Cody Haddon, who was getting tagged up by Dan Argueta, if he's getting hit by Dan Argueta, you go watch Cody Haddon fight. His chin, this is how he fights. That's legit how he fights. And we all know Malcolm has some crazy tight hooks. But dude's pretty responsibly defensively, right? Pretty responsible defensively. Cody Haddon's not going to be able to touch this guy, in my opinion. Malcolm's going to be so much faster than him. Unless Haddon just shells up the entire time. Dude, Malcolm Wellmaker, first round KO. And I would probably put more like with the prop and the win on stuff like this just to get better odds. But on the book I use Fliff. They don't offer that for some reason. It's weird. I'm in Texas, so it's like technically I don't even know how to say. It's like prize redemption or whatever. I don't know. It's a workaround. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'll tell you that much. But Malcolm Wellmaker at minus 165 odds against a guy who should not even be in the cage with him, in my opinion. That's a good bet. That's a smart bet. Moving on. What the heck? I don't know how that happened. I apologize. Chepe Mariscal. Money. He is a plus 110 underdog against Pat Sabatini, a guy he's already beat on the regional scene. Chepe has fought and defeated much stiffer competition than Pat Sabatini. Chepe Mariscal has the perfect antidote to Sabatini's crafty submission game. He is a pressure grappler, nice judoka. These odds should be flipped, in my opinion, and that's my whole basis for taking it. He should be the favorite. If you look at, I don't know why they are making Sabatini the favorite. Maybe the finishing ability, because Chepe doesn't really finish fights. But man, let's run an algorithm on AI or something. I guarantee it's going to tell you Chepe is going to win that fight 78% of the time or something. Fact check me. 87% of the time. Let's go with that. Flip it. Boom. Chepe Mariscal money line plus 110. The odds should be flipped, guys. If you know anything about the sport, if you're watching it every weekend, you know the odds should be flipped and that Chepe should be the favorite. So anytime the favorite's the underdog, dog, you know I'm taking that. Even if I picked Sabatini to win, I would still maybe take Chepe at the underdog spot because Chepe should be the favorite either way. So I love this underdog pick for Chepe. Moving on. Let's get into some props, guys. We're gonna end the video after this. Gosh dang it, I can't put my freaking face cam anywhere good. You can see it though. But I got some props I want you guys to watch. I love plus money, guys. I'm a plus money guy. These are also great to throw in parlays as well. Malcolm Wellmaker as well at minus 165 straight up. That's great to throw into a parlay as well. Under 1.5 rounds at plus 105 for Kyle Dawkins and Gerald Mearshart. I like that a lot because Gerald Mearshart has been very chinny lately. Kyle Dawkins coming off a nasty KO of Michel Pereira, looked so much more aggressive and confident on the feet and showed some pretty wicked power in those hands against Pereira. And that with Mearshart being very not that great on the feet. He's older, has looked chinny. I think he's in there for a paycheck. I think under 1.5 rounds is a very good bet to place. And you're probably thinking, why don't you just take Kyle Dawkins by KO? It's not on the freaking book I use, okay? But I think that's another nice parlay addition, or betting Kyle Dawkins money line with under 1.5 rounds. However, though, if Mearshart is to win, he has to get a submission early. So I think this fight ends early in 99% of whatever that is. That's Kyle Dawkins winning. But I think under 1.5 rounds with both these guys' jiu-jitsu games as well. I think that's a smart bet, especially at plus money. I like that. It would be better just Kyle Dawkins KO maybe, but you may not even get that good of odds on that necessarily. So I like under 1.5 rounds. I also like under 1.5 rounds for Malcolm Wellmaker and Cody Haddon. Again, how is this plus money? I would favor this fight to go under 1.5 rounds with how Cody Haddon fights and Malcolm Wellmaker's crazy power. I like that a lot. I like that freaking number, man. That may be my favorite bet that this whole video. Under 1.5 rounds in the Wellmaker Haddon fight. Like, I love, at plus money, Wellmaker's power, history of ending fights quick. That's gnarly, dude. And these last two props I want y'all to watch is over 2.5 rounds at plus 130, and fight goes the distance at plus 175. Almost the same thing, but odds are separated. Over 2.5 rounds is the 2.5. Fight goes the distance means no finish, right? Plus 130 and plus 175, you're getting that for the RoboCop and Romy Kopylov fight. I like this a lot because while both guys, Roman Kopylov doesn't have crazy knockout power in my opinion, and RoboCop, while he does have crazy power, it's going to be I picked RoboCop and I think he will win. However, RoboCop in the beginning of this fight it'll be much more difficult for him to get on the inside and land very powerful shots. And I think as the fight goes on, Rodriguez is going to build. And at plus money, getting that, I think Roman Kopylov's ability to manage distance is going to keep a lot of those shots that RoboCop normally would land earlier in the fight at bay. But I still think RoboCop's going to win. But especially if you're leaning towards Kopylov, dude, that's a nasty parlay, either one of those. Because that's how Kopylov wins this fight. He's not going to finish RoboCop. But I like that too because I think RoboCop is going to grind himself. He's going to grind through the fight. Eating tit and tat shots from Roman Kopylov. And I think those are sharp at plus money. I mean, you might as well just call me the plus money master, dude. Because that's all I like is plus money. Especially on this card. On other cards, my bets will for sure be different. But on this one, man, I just thought the plus money and the value you're getting on some of these lines, I thought is pretty insane. So, guys, and a lot of these picks too, they're nice parlay picks. Like that's a juicy single leg, juicy single leg, dude. Throw that in with a parlay, dude. Parlay or juicy single, dude. And then you got these. Throw them in a parlay. Bet them on themselves. I think these are sharp picks. If I do horrible, and like with this, I'm picking a lot of plus money. So if like my record, I don't know how many total bets this is or whatever, is 3-5, you're still probably making money. I'm still making money at 3-5 because of these odds. Nevertheless, though, guys, please don't be degenerates. Please don't be degenerates. If you can't handle stuff like this, don't freaking get involved. If you have self-control, if you have the funds to have fun gambling and making some bets like this on a nice, freaking amazing UFC pay-per-view on a Saturday night, hey, think about this. Think about what I'm thinking here and see if you agree. Hey, and let's ride together. Let's ride together. Let's make some money. Let's watch some sick fights. This is a good weekend. Shout out Texas. We're beating Georgia this weekend, my fellow college football people. Nevertheless, though, guys, let me know if y'all think I'm sharp or just a retard. Y'all could also, comment sharp for good bets, retard for retarded bets. For sure. Nevertheless, though, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's the first type of video like this I have uploaded and have made. I may not do it again because I don't necessarily like encouraging gambling. But I liked a lot of the things on the board this weekend. So I'm going to dabble a little bit, a little $10, a little $5 on a couple things, you know what I mean? And I can afford it. That's not going to affect my life. And if your bets affect your life, you need to stop immediately and get help. That's bad, okay? Just putting that out there. Or if you're freaking struggling at all, don't freaking bet at all. But if you're doing okay and it's not affecting your life, if you want to do it, do it. Pretty libertarian, you know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, though, guys, please subscribe to See All MMA. Please give this video a thumbs up, even if you think these bets suck, but you like me because I'm handsome and I'm funny, I'm freaking ADHD. So give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And if you've watched this video all the way through, I love you. I appreciate you. God bless you. And y'all have a great one. Praise be